Good evening. We are going to have a short talk between 20-30 minutes on the subject of spiritual understandings in regards to space alien personnel of the different groups that are known out there, and in this case, experienced by our friend Jimmy Paine, who is a accomplished time traveler and inside um, really super brain and wisdom keeper of I don't know how to say it, government aspect, government sorts as well as private sorts. We're going to do it like that. You'll understand what Jimmy's about as we go with this. So, in regards to the subject matter, we're talking about the spiritual factor information of the space alien community. Let me start off and preface this sense of direction of such by two things. One, over a lake that's before my house up in the hills, we had a lot of UFO, so to speak, activity between 2002 and really about 15, a long time, about 7 years. A lot of activity, and for X reasons. We had tin can spaceships, and we had what we called, that is myself and who's now dead, Chief David Webb, who broke the code of Judacola Rock in Jackson County, North Carolina. Um, we experienced light ships. Now, here's something about the UFO community that they've never really thought about, and that is the angelic factor. Angels can be shape-shifting, they can be of interdimensionality, all of the above at the same time, whatever's going on. Principally, if they're more of a guardian or archangel type of creation. Angels per se, um, they're kind of limited on some of the parameters of physics that are involved with that angel aspect. Point of being, over the lake, we would have light ships and we would get tin cans. Now, one thing that was observed one night, which was fascinating, was we had a sizable light ship up above the lake, and a spaceship was coming in to its in its trajectory, it was going to go into the path of the light ship, the angelic community, because they're actually they are communities of angels, these light bubbles. And as it was approaching the path of the slow moving light ship, it cut off sharp to the right to not interfere or get in the way of the light ship and its a lot slower speed of travel. That said many things. That said, one, they acknowledge what the light ship is about. Two, they acknowledge a characterum of that there is a creator, that there is a given creator. What the physics are of many different things. You get into sacred geometry, omnidimensional stuff, what have you. What is asked of Jimmy in his infinite wisdom is his perception, insight, and understanding of what he has perhaps experienced of alien personality in regards to their uh, uh, being of a God perception, or however they call it. I mean, here on Earth, we call God many things, Bob Dobbs and, whatever, many things, Allah, whatever. Um, so the second, but I preface this also, one, that light ship experience that took place, but also a couple years ago when I was coming back from a counterclockwise circle around Area 51, and I was coming back into Las Vegas, I went to the Trump Hotel because I wanted to see how it was doing per se as a business, because Trump really got jerked around when he was building that hotel. Partly understandable because he was coming off his failed experience with his New Jersey complex. And so he got jerked off by the Las Vegas fathers. Uh, so I went into the hotel and I saw that it was a nice amount of activity. The hotel is doing fine as a business, and that was nice per se. So I go to the gift shop off to the left, and I gathered a few items to buy, and I get in line to with the cashier before me, and there was one gal before me just buying one or two little things, and in front of her was this oversized human to scale. It wasn't a giantess thing. It was just a to scale large person of this beautiful female. I mean, she was just 10 plus, what have you, but a large person. Now, she was having a concourse of exchange with the cashier in that she was wanting to buy this little silver necklace and set of earrings that you would probably give like a 7-year-old girl. It was just small and cute, and you probably would get one at a local 7-Eleven with what this was about. But of course, Trump, this was a solid silver little triad of product. Well, she said to the cashier, I just want to get one of the earrings. I don't need the other earring or the necklace. And the cashier's going, no, it's a set. You have to buy the set. And so they exchange back and forth a little bit. No hostility. It's like a character of innocence on the part of this large lady wanting to conduct this purchase. Well, finally she goes, well, okay, I'll get the whole thing, which was only $160, which actually was a good price considering what the items were about, their design and what have you. So she did that, and then she walked away. And then I thought to myself, oh no, wait a minute, that's a space person, which they do hang out and come into Vegas some, not often, but they do. It's the closest big city. What do you want? So I went to try to find her. She was gone. Missed her. I missed her. So anyway, when I got back to my home place, I asked this one fella who used to be a pilot for the Janet flights. And I told him the story, and I said, what do you think? And he said, I'll phone a friend of mine to see if it's a verifiable circumstance, your experience. And it was verified. So the character of innocence and how the timing of this person, it's like the few times I bumped into an alien sort, they're kind of one half step off of what's going on around them, but at the same time, they're very much in tune with what's going on around them. So, Jimmy, I ask you to lend insight, if you can, as to how certain alien groups, to your experience, are of a spiritual nature, not religious, not subjects of dogma, but at the same time, maybe there is with some of the different alien groups a religion circumstance as opposed to a spiritual, which is God from within, where religion is God from without. Can you lend insight as to spiritualism of space aliens?
Well, I've been around different species from the time that I was 3.5 years old. I'm a senior now. So I'm going to first start off on the little grays. The little grays are not spiritual; they're more individual. They have they're more of they don't have a religion, but they have they're individuals. Now, I've been around reptilians. They have a low vibration. There's no spiritualism in reptilians. And I've been around tall whites. Now, the tall whites are spiritual, but it's kind of like they're very uh, tight-lipped about their spiritual beliefs, because they know that, we have religions here on earth like Baptist, Protestant, Catholic, Islam, Buddhism. We have all these earth religions, so it's more of not to offend, or with them, they just keep their spiritualness very, very close to them. All of them, like when a little gray dies, they just transfer their spirit into another body. Um, the body is just a vessel, okay, and so their spirits don't ever die, and human spirits don't ever die either. Their bodies die. Your body will die, but when you die, your spirit becomes an orb. And these orbs have been documented throughout history in ghost sightings, a little ball of light, or bioplasma, as some people would say. Um, your soul, when you die, you just cross over into another dimension. Right now, you're in third dimension, and when you die, you'll cross over to fourth dimension, and after that, you have the fifth dimension. Um, I'm told that there's 9 dimensions, but that um, the aliens can cross over to fourth and fifth, and they seem to bump into our religious beliefs, our spirits.
I do they have an understanding, because you're very wise as well, of what's involved with Christos. In other words, Christ consciousness, which incorporates a. I experienced it once. I did. I made the minimum, which is 22 minutes. 22 minutes to 2 weeks is what the parameters are on that aspect. And then it fades, and unless you go with it all the way, which actually in my case a bus came along and knocked it out. So, but I made the minimum. But it's a time when Christos is a time when you're aware of everything about you in a perpetually harmonic way, the Om of all, whether it's an inanimate object or a life form, and the association thereof, and the M, the Om. At the same time, it strikes the mind that with you give reference to the fourth and fifth dimension. Well, Christos can be several dimensions at the same time. It's very omni in its all. And we are all, I've talked about this before, we're all points of reflection of the infinite creator. As well as we reflect, we glorify. It's the only reason we were created. And so free will agency and what's involved with that is the gift, or the mechanism, what have you, of a created sort, like as you referred to the different aliens. Some of them are very self-oriented. It doesn't sound like selfishness is involved. It's just it's a very boring self-awareness thing, and They just bobble along in reference to the small grays. But therefore, like with the tall blondes, the Nordics, and they're not all blonde, but most are. Do they have a character of heart that is of their practice and being and association with each other, but with all? Do you understand where I'm coming from? All this? Do you understand what I'm doing?
Well, I can only tell. I can tell you, I've had uh, near-death experiences where they would put me into a tub when I was at Nellis, and they would put ice water into the bathtub and would slow my heart down till I would go into a semi-coma. And when you are having a near-death experience, uh, your heart slows down, your circulation slows down, and then you can stop breathing. And there's been many people who have uh, drowned in ice lakes, and it's been dead for an hour or two, and been revived. Um, Now, death, how I always tell a fake psychic from a real psychic, um, when somebody wants to uh, uh, read your palm or tell your fortune or whatever, or they do a seance, and and you know they're going to contact one of your loved ones from that's departed. Now, when you die, um, when you cross over, you don't see different colors. Like you don't see blue, red, or green. You don't see colors. There's not but one color, and that's amber. It's that's the only color you see, and the sky is amber. It's like a black and white TV set, okay? But everything is amber inside of it. Um, and the spirits, you have some spirits um, that run in gangs, and they gang up on other spirits, more uh, more lonelier spirits. Um, so um, I can talk a little about afterlife experiences, but you have to remember um, when you die, um, you're going from third dimension to fourth dimension. You have to ascend to fourth dimension. Um, Now, all orbs go to the North Star. I don't know why, but some orbs hang around Earth. Some orbs go to the moon or other planets, and it's the orbs that hang around Earth. Uh, as far as reincarnation, and then they can remember, their past life because they never left this dimension. They're stuck in an endless loop. They can't get out of it. So, but when you go from third dimension to fourth dimension, uh, you can come back in a different life form. You don't necessarily have to be human. You can be a humanoid, but um, um, that's been my experience.
I see. Um, a character of individuality, of a high level of expression of free will agency is with what's involved with brotherhood, uh, where the individual, I mean, true brotherhood, where you have cooperation, you have everything involved with a healthy brotherhood. And that's new information you just gave a reference to as far as how a body of gang can take place with some of the groups, or is this principally grays? And they can maybe gang up on an individual, which means they can be interceding of their space and place. As we
No,
know, as we know, the number one law of of creation is non-intervention, because you're affecting an individual point of creation with association with the Godhead, with the all point of reflection. So that's why negative frameworks of ego and vanity cause issues. So when you refer to gangs, I mean, well, okay, let me say this, if I may. In 2005, the Earth was possibly going to be invaded by some renegade Pleiadian sorts, as well as some renegade Orion sorts and the Lyrians. They were held off. As Al said, we militarily we can take on just about anything that's out there. We're that sophisticated, which is far out, but so. And it was held off. It was stopped. The Pleiadians, that's right, the Pleiadians stopped it. They stopped it because they are our best buddies. Um, let's see, why am I referring to this here? Uh, well, what do you think about that?
well, first of all, when I speak about spirits ganging up, I'm not talking about the little grays. The little grays have a hive mentality, sort of like a bee, like a beehive.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Uh, their bodies, when they die, they just jump into another body. This is soul transfer. They just jump into another body. Now, with humans, it's a little different, um, because we have, you know, we have compassion. Okay.
Yes.
Now, um, the each species, other words, you're created in your creator's image. So the creator of the little grays is a little gray. The creator of a reptilian is a reptilian. Now, when you come to humans, if you watch the movie Prometheus, um, where they go LV 223, okay, and in the year 2099, December, Christmas of 2099 is when we make contact with our creator, or which is a humanoid. Um, now, that movie is based on some fact. Okay, it
Uh-huh.
hasn't occurred yet, but I was on that spacecraft when we landed, and
Landed where?
on LV 223. Um, this is concerned the Whaling Corporation.
Is there a zip code for that? What kind of an address is that? Where's that located? By the North Star or something?
It's located in Zeta Reticuli, in that sector of the sky. Uh,
Oh,
um, it's out on the outer rim.
uh-huh.
It's on the outer rim. Um, if you watch these movies, Alien, um, in which they land and the xenomorph attached itself to the face of one of the astronauts. It's in that general area.
I see. Interesting. And forgive me, what is that other movie name? How do you spell
Prometheus.
Prometheus?
Yes.
How do you
Yeah.
spell that?
It's I haven't got the spelling right in front of me. I haven't got my glasses on.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, it's on TV. You can watch it. I don't really care. I already know what the
Oh, yes.
screen is.
Mhm.
Script is.
Oh my God. Okay.
Me and James talked about it in our interview in the past.
I see. I see. Yeah, I've been to the studios of Prometheus on Sunset Boulevard um, several years ago now. Uh, so the nature of love and which runs with parallels of compassion is a rule base of our existence as a human. I suggest this is, correct me if I'm wrong, that this is why whatever alien group is out there, they look at the human creation as a character of royalty, whether they be the homeless drunk on the street or a exalted person of accomplishment.
No, no, you got it all wrong.
Okay.
They view humans, some species, not all species, some species view humans as cattle. Okay,
Uh-huh. Good point.
okay.
Yeah.
Now, now, um, we're as far as life on Earth, humans didn't show up to about 1.2 million years ago by the earliest fossils that they've found, the skeletal
Hmm.
remains. And it wasn't until about 50,000 years ago that we have the modern humans started showing up, when we
Hmm.
got away from Neanderthals and everything.
Hmm.
And then only in the last 10,000 years has there's been any type of learning or building has occurred. So we're relatively a new species here on Earth. Earth is much older than 4 billion years. Earth's about 8 billion years old.
I see. Uh, well, okay. I mean, inference of humans before 10,000 years uh, has been referred to. Um, is this to say that the perfected humanoid is has naturally become as such, with what you're saying, or was there an influence like the Syrians going into some of the composites of some of the humans, Syrian beasts?
We have been genetically altered from the time that they've been here. Okay,
Uh
uh,
huh.
there's no reason we have to die after 60 or 70 years.
Uh huh.
They genetically engineered us to die early, and um, we can be engineered to live longer. Now, when I was at Nellis, I saw a woman playing tennis, and she to look at her, you would thought, well, she's about 60 years old. And but the truth of the matter was, she was over 120 years old because they had been experimenting on her.
Uh
She
huh.
was bounced around like a 30-year-old. So uh, we have the technology now to repair our bodies and to slow down the aging process. But because we're biological, we will all die, but we have the ability to slow it down. But what you have here is uh, you have the rural families here on Earth, and nobody wants to see these people live to be 120 years old. So they just withhold the information, and everybody dies.
I see. Do you have any? David Icke refers to the royal family as being shapeshifters.
Yeah, I've seen the queen shapeshift.
You have then.
Yes, I've seen her when I was with Arizona Wilder, and
Uh-huh.
Arizona Wilder's talked about her. Arizona Wilder, when she would have her period, she would take her tampons and put them in a glass jar with a lid on it, and bring the jars to the queen. And I've seen the Queen of England unscrew those jars and take that bloody tampon out and put it in a glass of ice water and dip it like a tea bag. And then she would drink from the glass. And it keeps her, the hormones in the blood, uh, it rejuvenates her skin.
Mhm.
She is a reptilian. I've seen her change before.
I see. What about her kids, William and Harry? Harry, he's the,
Harry
the
shape.
real father of Harry. We know that one. I like Harry, but was William also of such?
Now William is actually George Bush's son. George Bush had sex with Princess Diana, and so William, if you was to run a DNA test on him, on William, his DNA would match up with George Bush Sr. Now, Harry is Charles's son.
Is what son?
Uh,
That last.
uh, Harry
Yes.
is Prince Harry is
Yes.
is Charles's son.
Oh, okay. I see.
Even though Charles claims William is his son, but really it's uh, William's daddy is George Bush Sr. And I knew George Bush Sr. very well.
I see.
He thought I worked for him, which I did not work for him.
Uh-huh. I see. Well, there's a real story. Well, it's true with Bush Senior. There's a lot of conspiracy thought on Bush Senior, but we don't have to get into that right now. Uh, I guess. Uh, well, okay. I'm satisfied with what we've covered. Are there future points to be made before we stop this given interview time?
No, I mean, I just, you wanted to know about life after death. Um, you want to know about spirituality, but, um, you know, we all are created in the maker of our creator.
Yes.
Okay.
Do they
If,
look at it as such, the different alien groups? I mean, there's a physical language to a head, two arms, two legs, and a lot of the different alien groups are of such. Even the ones that look like a bug. Um, do they have a well, in part you've answered this, but in part not, a sense of character of grace and karma with with the creator.
well, each one has a pecking order. Um,
Oh, okay, that's
you
important.
know, like the insects, like I've been around the aliens that look like uh, praying mantis. I've been around those.
Yeah.
Um, and they seem to be studying Earth and be studying humans.
Uh-huh.
And and it's just my belief that as far as the insects are concerned, um, they're kind of like the little grays. They're individuals. They have no souls.
Okay.
Uh, if let me say this: when little grays war, when they fight,
Uh-huh.
They don't take prisoners. They fight to the death. Okay.
Uh-huh.
There is no compassion when they go to warring, and the same is true for the insects and for the reptilians. Okay, that's what sets us apart.
Uh-huh.
We'll we'll stop in the middle of a war and negotiate. They
Uh,
don't do that. It's complete annihilation once they start, and that's why that's something that you should keep in the back of your mind. If one of these species ever jumps on humans, it
uh,
will not stop till it kills.
that's
It
good to
will
know.
not stop.
That's important. Thus, the license is there to kill them.
It
If,
it it it, it
if
is
they're coming
done.
on you. Yeah.
It's not done out of prejudice. It's just survival instinct. And the I came very close when Phil Snyder was shot down in the cavern when I was with him back in '79, August of '79.
Were you with him on that?
Yeah, I was with Phil Snyder when it happened,
Oh, wow.
and I had to communicate with sign language to this tall gray, and
Well,
and that,
anybody can flip the bird. I just,
it's a very difficult thing to do because
mm,
it doesn't know compassion,
I see.
and that's why. And I would advise anybody if they see a spacecraft or see a creature not to approach it, because you don't know how it's going to react. There are people that are specially trained that can interact with them. I've interacted with them, and there's been many men in black has been killed. There's a high death rate for MIBs, so you have to be very careful when you interact with these different creatures.
I see. Thank you. It's so important. I see. Would this be as well for creatures that happen to look like us also? Are there, uh,
Uh, if they have our traits, they're going to have some of them may be psychopaths, some of them may have compassion, some of them may be depressed or over anxious. But I've seen humanoids and they do carry our traits. And at least with a humanoid, you might be able to reason with them. But you have to remember we have mental illness in our population, and humanoids have mental illness in their population as well. So it's each individual that you encounter, you're going to encounter a different personality, and you have to be willing to communicate. You have to give it a lot of room. Some of them will communicate with sign language. Some of them communicate telepathically if you look them in the eye.
uh-huh.
Some of them will write down what they're trying to say. It's just different ways of communication.
Okay. Very important. Very important. It's good to know. Well, okay. Thank you. I think I feel good about this experience. I guess we should break it off because people only want to watch. Well, as they say in the teaching arts, only for 33 minutes do you really have someone's attention. And after that, they want to go do coffee.
That's right.
So thank you, brother. Uh,
Thank you.
let's do some more right soon, as soon as I can comprise some sense of direction of a next interview, please.